We all know that in today's world, technology is advancing at an extremely quick pace. In fact, we're all worried now that AI is going to figure out that we humans are the problem. And that, of course, is no different in the motorcycle world. There's technology constantly coming on board, and some of that is good and some of that is bad. So I thought we would talk today about a survey that I recently got from Triumph Motorcycles about some new technology they're thinking about adding to their bikes. As a Triumph owner, I get occasional questionnaires about the satisfaction I'm having with my motorcycle, but also about upcoming improvements and upgrades that they might be doing to the bikes. And this is one of those cases. They have several new technologies that they're thinking about adding to their bikes, and some of them are kind of cool and some of them not so much, and there's actually something that's kind of disturbing. So again, we'll talk about all of those things. So first is a factory spec chain oiler. Now, while I have a Triumph 1200 and it has shaft drive, I thought that this could be pretty cool for chain-driven motorcycles. You know, people have added chain oilers for some time, but having one that is spec'd from the factory, well, again, that could be a pretty cool thing. Now, another thing that they're thinking about adding to the bikes is radar-assisted cruise control. Right now, I have radar blind spot warning on my Tiger 1200, and it works quite well. I like it. And I also have radar-assisted cruise on my truck. And at first, I really didn't care for it very much, but now as I've gotten to use it, and as I've learned how to use it properly, right, then I now like it. Right, so I can see that that would be definitely a benefit, right, to add to your motorcycle. Now, another thing that I have on my truck is auto-adjusting brights. Right, I can turn on my brights and the truck will automatically detect if there's somebody coming at me, and it will lower the beam, right, and then raise it back up when the coast is clear. So again, I found that to be a very cool feature. Well, Triumph is talking about adding not only that auto high beam feature, but some other auto adjusting features where your headlights based upon speed would either have a nice wide beam to illuminate the road, or it would narrow the beam to look farther ahead. So again, these seem like pretty cool features. Now, I don't do a lot of driving at night on my motorcycle, so I'm not sure if it would be a big thing for me, but if people are commuting and riding at night, again, I can see where this would be pretty cool. Another thing that they're talking about adding is over-the-air updates, right? And that is that you can get a software update, whether it be to the ECU of your motorcycle or maybe to the TFT screen. Anything that has to do with the software of your motorcycle can be updated over the air. Again, there's a lot of things that do this. Your cell phones, my video cameras, everything does that. Even my car will do that if I subscribe to it, which is again the problem here. We'll talk about subscriptions a little bit later. Now, another feature that I saw mentioned was a rear-facing camera, and that would be available to you to, as they put it, replace your rear view mirrors. Now, again, this one I'm not sure about. Right, I have a rear view camera, a backup camera on my truck that is really cool, but I'm backing up at the time and going slowly, right? So that really helps me. But if I was using that as a rear view mirror instead, I don't know that I think that's a good idea. Because you would be looking down at your TFT screen for this and taking your eyes off the road. Right now, right, I can just look in my rear view mirrors without really having to take my eyes off the road to a great extent. So I'm up in the air on this one. I'd be willing to ride a bike and test it and give it a try, see how it worked. But again, I'm not sure that this is such a good idea. Now, speaking of what's going on behind you, they were also talking about adding some auto warning features to your rear lights. All right, so what would happen is if a car gets too close to you, again, I don't know what that too close is, a car length, again, I don't know, but whatever that is that they've established, then your lights would start flash to warn the driver behind you that they're getting too close. And quite honestly, this just sounds really bad to me. In our world of road rage and angry drivers, you know, having something that automatically flashes your lights just seems like not the proper thing to do, right? I can determine what to do with a tailgater. Most of the time it's slow down and make them pass me or move out of their way. The last thing I need to do is start flashing my lights. That's just going to piss people off. Another thing that was mentioned in this survey was something that is actually being implemented in the Tiger 1200s, and that is a suspension lowering feature. Harley-Davidson has this right now where as you slow down, you come to a stop, the bike lowers so that you can more easily get your feet on the ground. So again, Triumph is talking about adding this feature, I guess, across their line of bikes. I haven't had it done to mine yet. Next time I go in for service, they will give me that update and I'll be able to tell how it works. But it sounds like a good idea. So again, that's a feature that I think most of us would like to see. So another one that I again have questions about is they want to add a heads-up display on the motorcycle. And that is where the speedometer, right, and tachometer, and I assume other information would be displayed on the windscreen in front of you. So you wouldn't have to look down, right, to see this information. You could see it again while keeping your eyes on the road. Again, I guess that sounds like a good idea, but also it puts more stuff in your view. And I don't know, when I'm going around corners, you know, having fun on my bike, I don't want all that stuff in my vision, right? I just want to be able to concentrate on the corner. So again, this is something I would be interested in trying, but I'm a little up in the air whether it's a good idea or not. Now here's one that I definitely think is a bad idea, and that is street sign recognition. They want to add in the ability of the bike, again, through cameras to recognize street signs, I guess speed signs, yield signs, etc., and then display those either on your dash or I guess up on your windscreen if you have the heads-up display. Again, I don't really like this idea. I can see these signs already. I'm supposed to be looking for them already. Right? I don't need the bike to tell me, you know, that I've just passed a sign. So, I don't know. I think this is kind of a dumb one. And the last one that we're going to talk about here anyway is automatic transmissions or clutchless transmissions. They had both things that they were talking about in this survey. And again, I know that this is being more common in motorcycles. Honda has a whole line of bikes now with the DCTs, and they're becoming quite popular. The Goldwing and the Africa Twin with the DCT has been extremely popular. So I can see that manufacturers are going to want to add this kinds of things. And again, I don't see why Triumph wouldn't do that. Again, sounds like a good option if people really want that kind of thing. Now here is the disturbing part to all this for me, and that is how Triumph may want you to pay for all of these additional add-ons. Now look, I understand that all this technology costs money. The capitalist system means that we have to pay, right, for all of these things, right, as you get added onto the bike. So if Triumph wanted to create a premium package or several levels of packages that people could buy, they can pick and choose or go a la carte, right, for, you know, the features that they want on the bike, okay, that's fine. I don't have any problem with it. But they were asking several questions about subscriptions. Right, and would I be willing to pay to add these features on an ongoing basis? And the answer to me is no. Right? If I'm going to pay you $25,000 for my motorcycle, which is what I paid for my Triumph Tiger, right, then I don't want to be hit with this nickel and dime stuff, right, for the entire length that I have this motorcycle, that I've got to pay to turn on riding modes, for example, was one thing that they had mentioned, right? Or maybe the seat lowering adjustment, you have to pay for that on an ongoing basis, or maybe you have to pay for the over-the-air updates, software updates, again, on an ongoing basis. So again, I don't like this personally. All right, again, I'll buy your motorcycle if there's an additional fee, as I discussed, then fine, I'll pay for those features up front. But once I get them, I don't want to continue paying for them forever. Right? I mean, I think it's bad enough that Triumph has me pay a monthly fee, $100 a year, right, to have access to the shop manual, for example. Now, I'm doing that right now because I want to have that information available to me, but I don't really like it, and I'm certainly not going to like it if they add on all of these other things that I have to continually pay for. Yeah, that's just me. I think it's probably more of us older guys too. I mean, now maybe younger guys will be willing to do this because they'll be more used to it, right? But again, I don't know. So for me personally, if Triumph or any other manufacturers goes to this model where I have to turn features on and then pay for them forever, well, I'm just not going to buy the motorcycle. I'll go find something else that doesn't nickel and dime me and charge me this way. Again, but that's just me. So, of course, let me know what you guys think about that kind of payment model. Right? Is that something that you would be willing to do? Right? Or, like me, would you just want to pay for something once and be done with it? Right? Also, do you like these kind of updates that Triumph is putting on their bikes or thinking about putting on their bikes? Is this technology worth it to you? Are you willing to pay a little bit more money for some of this stuff? So again, let me know all of those things in the comments, and again, we'll have a discussion about this stuff. All right, guys, ride safe, keep squeezing your lemon.